destination?
Babylon 5.
We introduced our characters in the first season. We began to sort of move things along and heat them up in the second season. Now the complication arises.
Jump gate activated. Here they come.
The shadows came out of the shadows, as it were.
We had offered the promise of a huge war between the Shadows and the Vorlons. I felt it was important to really pull the trigger on that and see that war brought to full fruition.
The story started to skew into another area, and things were changing.
As of this moment, Babylon 5 is seceding from the Earth Alliance.
At one point, we have to break away from the Earth Alliance and put our characters completely on their own, with no one to back them up, no one to support them.
There was no one that could write the whole through line of this if it wasn't Joe.
It became all one piece, one textured storyline. And as a result, it became very hard to say to someone else, pick up that thread. So I realized early on I had to write the whole thing myself. It wasn't what I planned to do, wasn't what I intended to do, but it became necessary for story purposes.
The first time it's ever been done in television history. 22 episodes by the same writer. And it worked out beautifully.
You must be Delenn. I'm Anna Sheridan, John's wife.
I really went from A to Z in that season, from a love life to Return of the Dead Wife.
I always liked the dynamic of Sheridan and Delenn. The guy from Kansas, very Midwestern, with this very elegant female character. And I wanted to develop slowly that relationship until it began to come to fruition probably in the year 3.
I loved playing that whole romance with Bruce because he's such a wonderful man and a wonderful actor.
We became the Arthur and Guinevere of Babylon 5.
I actually think I've come up with a way to explain the organizational structure of Babylon 5 using the Ottoman Empire as a model.
Jason was an interesting audition.
He didn't take himself seriously. He took what he wanted to do seriously. And he played with people intellectually and was amused by things generally, unless he had a bee in his bonnet about saving the universe, in which case he'd just go off and try and do it.
You know, you'd think I'd learn one of these days that I can't fix everything, but it never happens.
I don't believe in perfect characters. They're all flawed in Babylon 5, some more than others. And I wanted to investigate the possibility of having one of our characters become addicted to a drug of some kind.
And I just asked him, am I going to end up on the bathroom floor, you know, kind of convulsing? He said, no, I think it's going to be a nice arc, and that we're going to try to be as realistic about it as possible, but you will come through. And I'm like, great, let's do it.
Your war is now my war. Alfred Bester was a complex character. Despite his mean-spiritedness, I can empathize with Mr. Bester. It was his great responsibility and duty to save the telepath community, and he would do almost anything for that.
Hey, Zach, how's it going? Fine, fine. Hey, you missed all the excitement. Ambassador Sinclair was here.
Joe really caught into the idea of developing another person into security, particularly as he was thinking about where Jerry's character arc was going to go.
Jeff was kind of a fun addition. He kind of became like my right-hand man and my confidant.
I was a fan of the show before I was on the show, and I was a fan of the show while I was on the show. My childhood dream was to be an astronaut, you know, and so I was living it out every time I went on the set.
Will you help me, Mr. Malden?
Of course, Ambassador.
It was an amazing play from Warden to take out his girlfriend and to get Londo to come back and say, I need your help.
Babylon 4.
Babylon Square was the first half of the story seen from one side, and War Without End was the other side of the story seen from their point of view.
When you meet me again, it will be me, but it won't be me now. So you're not to say anything to me that might change the past. Do you understand?
Zathras understand. No, Zathras not understand, but Zathras do.
Nothing is put in arbitrarily, it all means something. And to take that first episode and then pay it off a full 2 years later by showing you the flip side of what happened was a great writing experiment.
You've done a good job looking after the place. I couldn't have wished for better.
And that was a really elegant way that Joe was able to bring back Commander Sinclair and Michael's character and give it you know, a really special send-off.
Come with me
Where?
to Zahadu.
We often don't listen to the best advice we get.
If you go to Zahadu, you will die.
And Sheridan, knowing full well what this could mean to and for him, has to go anyway. And that, to me, is the definition of heroism. We know what the price is going to be, and we're still afraid of it, but we do it anyway.
Next stop, Zahadu. When I first got this, I started reading and I'm going, wow, this is incredible. Wait a minute. Is this my end?
What stands out the most for me from year 3 of Babylon 5, first, our characters come to a point where they cannot back off anymore, where the lives have changed and the world's changed around them, and will never be the same. It's the pivot point for the entire show. It was really a chance to show what I wanted to show in the first place, a big interstellar war on a scale never before attempted television.